We'll say good morning. This is Monday, September 25th, 2023. It's 6:50 a.m. The reason why I'm doing a video today is there is an interesting feature, especially in one of the computer models forecast for Wednesday. Um, Kind of like a mini tropical storm. Not wanting to scare anybody, but we're getting into late September, early October, early November. That's probably peak season for us to have some sort of tropical depression. And what this really is forecasting is a tropical depression, not a tropical storm, and not over us, but to our north. But we'll get to that in just a second. We'll start with our weather this morning. As you can see here, no rain recorded since midnight at any of our recording stations. Let's take a look here at satellite. And we see a lot of high clouds. These have no rain in them. But as the sun comes up, we can see some lower clouds getting towards west right now. Sometimes these clouds have a little bit of rain in them. Nothing terrible, not a monsoon or anything. And when we look at the weather radar, it's really not up. Yeah, it's not really picking up anything. So if there is any rain, it's pretty light and pretty quick. So 7:30 on the west end. You're probably seeing some clouds off to your west, and we have a very light southerly flow. Not much wind today. The seas are pretty flat, but what wind there is pushing this a little bit from west to east, which is a little bit backwards from what it normally is. But what we're really looking at, and what really got my curiosity up, so this is a wind forecast for especially if you get into late Tuesday, early Wednesday, and you'll notice that it's giving us some pretty high seas, 3 to 4 feet. Now, we often, high seas for us is like 7, 8 feet, so dangerous and nothing out of the ordinary. We've been pretty flat calm, and here it's forecasting on Wednesday 3 to 4 foot seas when we don't have much wind at all. So that was telling me there's something weird going on here. So if we look at the rain model on the GFS, this is this Canadian. Let me go back to the GFS here. So if we go into the GFS, which is the main US model for weather forecasting, and we go through the day on Tuesday, you'll notice there's a little storm right here off the Mosquito Coast. And then as we go through the day on Wednesday, you can see this core moving to our northeast towards the Yucatan and northern Belize. So if we go over to our wind forecast, this night on Wednesday, so you see a little bit of higher winds here to our east. And then as we go through the morning on Wednesday, you can see it build. And this is again the GFS. And later on Wednesday afternoon, you can see a little mini circulation here. Now, sustained winds on the windier north side of this, of course that's away from us, 31 miles an hour. The border for a tropical storm is 39 miles an hour, and you have to have closed circulation. So the interesting thing here is that the GFS is predicting kind of a closed circulation storm to our north on Wednesday with winds that you would associate with a tropical depression, but not a tropical storm yet. And that's the peak. It kind of weakens from there down to around 30. And if you look at the wind gusts on the north side of the storm at its worst, we're still, let me get in the core here, 39. So peak winds would be tropical storm force winds, but to be a tropical storm, it has to be sustained winds, and that's the average over 2 minutes. So, and while this is happening down here in Roatan, we got wind gusts of 12 miles an hour. So we're staying pretty calm during this time period. If this happens, what would happen is we'd have a good chance of rain on Wednesday, maybe not a deluge, fairly calm winds, but choppy seas. that would be the main effect for us. Now, the European model is not so high on this. You can almost make out some slight circulation here, but nothing too major on Wednesday. And as you look at the icon, it's very similar, very slight circulation, but nothing to write home about. Now, what does this mean as far as rain goes? This is the GFS rain forecast, and you can see kind of a core of higher rain totals. This is the rain total accumulated by Thursday morning. And you can see here it's predicting 9 inches of rain up around Swan Island, if you know where that is, northeast of us. Down here, the forecast is for around 1.5 inches of rain, so nothing too extreme. If we go over to the European rain forecast, similar, an inch of rain between now and morning. The icon, which is the German model, very similar. So it seems to be a consensus that we should see some rain, especially Tuesday night into Thursday morning. Total rainfall forecast is around 1.5 inches for us. Mild winds, maybe 10 miles an hour, but also slightly choppy seas. And we've been pretty flat calm for a pretty long time, and so 3 to 4 foot seas would seem pretty wavy to us right now. Not a sure thing, but it's definitely something to watch, and we'll keep an eye on it as we always do. Thanks for following us here on Roatan Weather. Feel free to support us on Patreon, and let us know what happens at your house.